Don't know.
I've never heard. That's a question that needs to be asked. You know what I mean? So when your partner's free, we'll speak to him. Which one's the partner? Sorry, the one who's donating to us. The one who's making a big donation. Yeah. All right. So we'll leave that to one side. We'll let him tell us what he's about. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. How you doing, my bro? She opened up a can of worms, my brother. Huh? She was saying that you used to be Muslim.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
When I was in my early 20s,
Yeah.
I reverted. I spent a couple of years, but there was a lot of issues. Certain friends and certain situations, I kind of just separated myself from anything else that would make me different than anyone else. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So like religion makes me separate, being black makes me separate, them kind of things. So I just...
So you stop being black now?
Just anything else.
You identify as a non-black person?
You idiot.
No. Sate, I respect where you're coming from, because what's ends up happening is, I get it, because sometimes like you want to fit in and you don't want to like create another obstacle. So black is an obstacle. Economical, how much money you've got is an obstacle. You know what I mean? Your environment, your postcode is an obstacle. Now what you believe becomes an obstacle. But I think like, look, you're a different man now, no?
Yeah.
Or you're the same man you was 20 years ago?
Nah.
She can testify to you, you know, yeah?
Yeah.
Did you know him when he was in his 20s? No? Glad. Yeah? So, now we're a fresh perspective, fresh pair of eyes, because it wasn't necessarily something about Islam that you left. It was just the fact that it was different to use the outcast, use the odd one out.
I wouldn't say
and
it's just that. I would also say it's a lot of devotion as well. And at my age at the time,
Okay.
I gave as much as I could, but it wasn't enough.
What kind of devotion to what? Tell me.
Ramadan you used to find hard.
That I could deal with and stuff like that, but it was also a lot of giving up a lot of things that,
Like what?
I don't know.
Easy, just keep in mind it's being filmed, the missus is here, your kids here.
A lot of things,
Okay.
things, isn't it?
But
a lot of
it's-
things that you're not really so much, I wouldn't say allowed to do, but you should be doing.
Drinking, is that something you do now regularly?
Not as much as I used to.
Yeah. So like I said, look, from a new perspective, like, do you see the harms of drinking alcohol? Imagine you had to make a choice, not your personal choice, as in the world that you're raising your child in. There's either alcohol or there's no alcohol. Which one would you choose?
No alcohol.
No alcohol.
Yeah, but that's a rhetorical question, because the whole world sees what alcohol does anyways, isn't it?
No, but you know that as a general rule, it makes sense.
Yeah.
If you could get your child to either take the risk of drinking sensibly or not drinking at all, because it's a risk, because he might drink sensibly, he might get addicted to it, he might have a car accident, it might lead to domestic violence, he might lead to liver problems, or it might not. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
That's why these things are called vices, though, isn't it? You know what I mean?
so you see it as a vice?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
So the way I look at it is like, look, at the end of the day, in Islam, we differentiate between what you need to enter paradise and what would get you sin or obstruct you to get in paradise. It doesn't mean you're not going to enter paradise. Yeah. It just means that you're disobeying God. But you can disobey God and still be a Muslim, as long as you don't reject the belief in God, as long as you don't make partners with God, as long as you don't challenge the law of God. Yeah, I'm weak. I can't particularly act upon this law of God. Yeah, I can't implement it in my life, but I know it's wrong. I'm trying to stop, or at the moment I don't want to stop due to weaknesses, but I know it's wrong. So you're not rejecting the law of God, because rejecting the law of God is you rejecting God.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Because it's like disbelief. It's like, no, God, you're wrong, I'm right. You've forbidden this, but there's goodness in it. Like, wait, you're challenging God now. So none of that is taking place. Yeah? What's your name, by the way? Jamal. Ridwan, young man? Therese, madam?
Sarah.
Sarah. Nice name. Yeah? I don't know. We're gonna talk about Sarah. Yeah. You know what Sarah means, right?
Regular princess. Flower.
It means princess, but it's famous for being the Arabic for the wife of Abraham.
Never knew.
Yeah. So it's Arabic. It's an Arabic word, and that's.
I am Arab.
Are you Arab?
Yeah.
This is too much. This is too much. I'm going to go back to it, then we're going to address this, and I'm going to talk about all of this. We're going to unravel all of this, yeah, with your permission. So I'm saying that, look, do you believe there's one God?
There can only be one, but I don't know who he is exactly, but yeah. There's one.
Okay.
There is one.
So yes.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We're gonna go into who that one God is, hopefully, and give you good reasons and convince you of who that one God is. Yeah. Now that being said, there's one God. Now, does that one God have the right to be worshipped and obeyed? The one God that created you and me.
Yes, if that's fact, yes.
No. Because the fact of the matter is, are you in any doubt that there is a God and that God is one?
Late. Yeah, kind of.
Why?
A lot of loss and a lot of bad things that happen in the world.
But does that necessitate there isn't a God?
I believe that it just means there's bad people. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's God's fault.
No, bad things happen. Yeah. It doesn't necessitate there's God. Because I commonly have this conversation, and I say that I could get rid of all the evil in the world. One condition. Yeah. No free will.
Okay.
If I got rid of free will, there will be no more evil in the world. Is that a willing sacrifice? That ties into what you were saying.
Not really, no. Not at all, actually.
Go on, tell me what's evil. People can do evil actions.
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you know what I mean? Then you argue, oh, poor people. It's out of their control. But the fact of the matter is, Islam is based on 5 pillars. Yeah? The third pillar is zakat. Do you know this?
Not from memory, no.
Yeah. Now, zakat is a tax for the rich to give to the poor. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You give 2.5% of your wealth you haven't spent in 1 calendar year to the poor. We eradicated poverty in the time of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. There was no more poor people. And it wasn't 5 mans in the desert. It was like we had a large empire. Yeah?
I'm trying to think if I know if I remember that. History is more my thing, but I don't, that sounds a lot.
It may not necessarily be something you've taught, because it depends on where you got educated. Does it make sense? Yeah. If you're taught in this country, like, it's very biased towards the Western and British colonialism and their history, and it's like, my mind was like, England was just the best. They done everything right. And then I looked into Islamic history and realized that, wait, the Muslims and what's his name, Khalid bin Walid and Umar ibn al-Khattab, they achieved a lot of things, but we just didn't get taught about it. Yeah. So it's the only economical system that's divinely inspired, divinely revealed, and look what we've achieved. There's no other economic system that's able to eradicate poverty. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So then it's like, when you submit your will to the commandments, the divine laws of God, like, problems will disappear. Yeah? It's a lengthier conversation, and I'll unpack that, but you'll see that, look, a lot of the problem is man-made problems. It's our problems due to us not obeying God. Yeah? So, can we establish as a fact, there's no doubt there is a God?
I still couldn't agree with you 100%.
You can't? Okay.
I can't.
Then let's take a step back. Let me convince you there's a God. Yeah? By the way, where you at in this conversation?
I believe there is just one God.
Okay. So you can go and get a drink. Let me convince him. Yeah? You might find this a little bit boring. But okay. Now, can something come from nothing?
No, it's impossible.
Impossible.
Everything
Can
is
you
beginning.
give me an example of something coming from nothing? Okay. Then, where did the universe come from?
That's cheap. Don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Can you say with 100% certainty it didn't come from nothing? Can we say with 100% certainty it didn't create itself? Because that means it had to exist and not exist at the same time.
No, nothing can come from nothing. Simple.
Yeah? Yes.
Something has
And
to
the
make
universe began to exist.
something. You can't just begin to exist.
Yeah. So it's missing a cause. Yeah. And I would hypothesize, I would claim that that cause is God, Allah. Yeah. All powerful, has knowledge, and does things with a purpose. Does that make sense? And is uncreated. I don't want to go too deep into stuff that you haven't brought to me, because I try to like tick all the boxes out of conversations, like, and I'm confusing them. So I'm not going to talk about stuff if you don't bring it to me. But yeah, let's just say I've got the answers, but I'm going to let you like ask me questions first, right? So if it didn't come by itself, yeah, and it can't create itself, and it was created, then I would say that that creator is God. It's something that's all powerful, all knowing. How do you feel about that? Or give me an alternative.
Don't have one. I couldn't
Yeah.
give it. Apart from
So at the moment,
science, but
tell me science.
there's not.
What
I
science?
can tell you anything. Like
No,
that.
science doesn't have a horse in the race. Because I've spoken to professors of quantum mechanics, yeah? And it's like they're very arrogant. Some of them are atheists, some are not, some are theists. They're like, look, this specific conversation I had, he said, he can tell me to the very moment the Big Bang happened. So that's fine. And then he was telling me about atoms and black hole. Well, that's fine. I'm talking about nothing. Where did the Big Bang happen if there was nothing?
Yeah, I get that. That makes sense.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
He walked away. He had a little hat, you know them, like a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And he's like a really English guy, speaking like really good English. I'm like, why are you wearing a cowboy hat? Like, that makes no sense. But I didn't want to say that to him, yeah? And he was like really arrogant, and he's like, yeah. And then when I stopped him after a 20-minute conversation, like, he didn't have a response. And he just walked away. I'm like, does that mean I've won? Like, have you tapped out? Like, what's the mystery? Like, come back. You know what I mean? Can I give you a hat? Give me a hat at least, or something. You know what I mean? Wear around like as my victory. You know what I mean? So I'm saying that, look, science can tell you it's limited by space, time, things which are tangible.
Yes.
Does that make sense? And I'm saying God Almighty is outside of space, time, and this universe. So science can't have a view on it. Yeah? In the defense, I'll say that, look, I can't use science to prove God. Nor can they use science to disprove God. So that's not even my argument. My argument is it's more logical and rational to believe in a creator than to believe this universe came from nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes more sense.
So until, you have a better alternative. Be a theist. Believe in God. Oh, God might not exist. Like, I haven't seen everything, and I'm not sure. But with the information you have now, you believe in God.
In essence, yes.
Nah, you can't be 1 foot in one. Like, I'm not pressuring you. I'm not forcing you. But does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, you don't apply that level of cynicism to other parts of your life. Yeah? Is this your partner?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How do you know? There's moments
Oh,
today. Yeah, she was out of your eye view. She could have been replaced. Like, does it make sense? Like, how do you know? How do you know your mom is your mom, your dad's your dad? Like, how do you know? Just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But you accept it.
Yeah.
Yeah? Until you have reason to believe she's not who she claims she is. Yeah? Your mom's not your mom, your dad's not your dad. They're your parents, no? Yeah? So at the moment, you have no reason at this present moment in time, and correct me if I'm wrong, not to believe in God. Because it's the most logical, rational belief.
No.
Huh?
No, I don't.
What did God come from?
Raises.
What did you say? That's another whole place.
Yeah? No, it's a good one. Very, very good.
How was God made if nothing can come from nothingness?
Thank you. God by definition, Allah by, not necessarily God, Allah by definition is uncreated. Yeah? Allah was always there. You need something that's not dependent, uncreated, otherwise the universe won't exist. Does that make sense? And the Quran gives a definition of this 1400 years ago. Yeah? In chapter 112, verse 3. Yeah? Was a four-line definition of God and says, say Allah is uniquely one. Yeah? He's self-sustaining eternal. Self-sustaining eternal. There's nothing in this universe which is self-sustaining and eternal. Does it make sense? Yeah?
Basically, everything needs something else to exist.
Yeah. Including Allah, because Allah is self-sustaining eternal. He doesn't have offspring, nor was he born. He was not created. So 1400 years ago, a unlettered man, the Prophet Muhammad, is giving us a beautiful, perfect four-line definition of God. And the fourth verse is, there's nothing comparable, there's nothing equal to God. There's nothing equal to God, actually, that's the more correct translation. Yeah? How do you feel about that? Does it make sense to you? Yeah? Because another simpler way of thinking about it is, who created God? Who created God that created God? Who created God that created that God that created that God that created that God? Yeah? It will just never stop. You need something that's uncreated, or yeah, we'll get to the 5,000th God and it's like, yeah, but who created you? Where did that come from? Yeah? Make sense? Any questions? I like you, man. I like you. Yeah? That's the kind of worms I didn't want to open up, because I asked the question, and if you don't ask the question, you won't really, like, you just wasn't thought about it. And I had a conversation yesterday with someone, and I felt so guilty because it's like, she just didn't get it. It was like, it just blew her mind too much. I'm like, next time I'm just going to take it easy, not open up some kind of worms. But yeah. Okay, so, do you believe in God? Do you believe there's a creator?
Every sentence you say kind of chips away at my thoughts. I would still say I'm not sure. If I'm honest.
Okay, that's fine. Let me give you some more evidence. Yeah? No, it's good to be honest. So now this is a conversation for Sarah, yeah? So there's God, yeah? Now, would God create us without purpose? No? Okay. Would God tell us what that purpose is? Would God communicate what that purpose is?
I think he would try and let you figure it out what it is.
Say that again, sorry?
Like let you figure it out what it is.
How about me in the middle? Not let you figure it out, but give you the choice if you choose to believe. Because the Islamic position is, there's one God. God created us for a purpose, told us what that purpose is through prophets and messengers. Yeah? To every nation, there was a man chosen amongst men who was trustworthy, who was known to be upright, to articulate the message. Yeah? Now after they die, the message lives on through a book. Yeah? When the book gets changed or corrupted, God will send another messenger. Yeah? Now, God sent the final messenger, the Prophet Muhammad. Yeah? And because there's no more messengers to come, God preserved the final revelation, the Quran. Yeah? Because now, to convince you there's a God, yeah? Let's go into, because it's more logical and rational to believe in a creator. Now let's go to tangible evidence. Yeah? My tangible evidence that there's a creator is the Quran. This is a book that's been perfectly preserved from 1400 years ago. This is a book where there's no mistakes, there's no errors in it at all. It talks about all the major subjects, gets it right. Talks about history, gets it right. Talks about science, gets it right.
That was kind of the part that kind of captured me, was their views on science, which is quite aligned with the views on science these days now.
Yeah.
3 billion people.
So if there's something that hasn't been changed, there's no mistakes in it, and it's perfect, my argument is, my claim is, God is perfect. What's from God must be perfect as well. Yeah? Now, the Quran, yeah, Allah actually sets the challenge and says, look, if you have any doubt, yeah, bring something similar to it. Yeah? Bring something equivalent to it. Yeah? Down to one chapter. Yeah? Okay. The smallest chapter in the Quran is 3 verses. And as of yet, no one has been able to bring anything like it. The Arabic, the linguistic miracle, the kind of high level of Arabic. Does that make sense? Like, even on my way here, I was speaking to a brother who was telling me about a professor who learned Arabic. Yeah, he, unfortunately, he's not a Muslim, but he actually testifies to the caliber of the Quran, the language in the Quran. Yeah? So may Allah grant him hidayat, guided to Islam. So then, yeah, so things are happening which are distracting me. Yeah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Habibi, just go and diffuse that, man. He's drunk and he's a teenager. Ego's kicking in.
No, he knows he'll win, that's why he's freaking out.
But yeah, going back to this, yeah. What was I saying? Sarah, come on, pressure.
Don't do that to me.
Yeah, he did.
Let's see what you got.
Lose track of my thought process so quick.
So we're talking about the Quran being preserved, linguistics, miracles. So now, when it talks about science, it gets it right. Yeah, and there's no mistakes in it. Then would you not testify to the fact that it's from God?
Yeah.
That's you wanted. You wasn't. I'm giving you more evidence. You're someone who's read through the Quran, right?
A number of years ago, yeah.
Yeah. Read through it again. You're going to benefit in a newer way. And you didn't find any issues with it, did you?
No, but to be fair, I was more looking for the information that was given to me. I was more looking for that. I didn't look at it from a view of I'm reading a book from start to finish and not knowing anything.
Yeah.
I was told certain things and I was just trying to verify more.
But what you verified, you was able to verify, right?
Yes.
Then?
In the book, yes.
Then? What's your point? Does that make sense?
But
You didn't read it cover to cover.
Information, it's not back to back. If that makes sense. So
But that specific information is correct. And people, Muslims who spoke to you didn't lie to you. Yeah? If you read it cover to cover and you sat with a scholar, yeah, it's not necessary to sit with a scholar, but there are some things where you would benefit more taking it from someone with knowledge, when was it revealed, what specifically is it talking about, then you could bring more of it into your life. But when you read it, you wouldn't have had any issues with it. And I mean, from what you read, you didn't have any issues with it. And if you read all of it, you probably will practice more Islam for a longer period of time. Does it will strengthen your faith. Yesterday, just yesterday actually, I was speaking to this American lady who became Muslim, and she studied Islam and she learned Arabic. I'm like, I'm jealous of you. You know what I mean? I don't even know Arabic, and you know Arabic. You know what I mean?
I only know little pieces, not much.
That just reminded me that we're gonna get. In fact, you can verify the linguistic miracles of the Quran. Can you read Arabic? If you try to learn, would it be easy for you to learn it?
I think parts of it would be, because when I was much younger, I used to get it taught almost every night. But then as the years have gone on and I've not had like my nan and granddad has not been around, so obviously they've passed away, that's slowly like disappeared from my memory.
So it'll be easier for you to verify what I'm saying about the linguistic miracles. Because I'll be honest with you, that's the argument the Quran uses. My weakness, I don't use as much as I should, because I feel like for you to truly appreciate it, you're gonna have to learn Arabic, or you're gonna have to listen to someone else telling you how amazing it is. So the stuff I tell people is stuff they can verify. For example, the preservation of the Quran. If you Google Birmingham Quran manuscript, we have a carbon dated Quran verified by Birmingham University that says that, look, it's been preserved in the lifetime of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So it's been perfectly preserved. We have evidence of that. I'm not even going to the Muslim sources. I'm not even going to, like, even in Oxford University, they've got verses and chapters of the Quran, which they've testified as the same Quran. They've got over 2 million people memorized word for word, letter for letter, dot for dot. Because our primary source of preservation is an oral tradition of memorization. You know, yeah? No, it's all good, because the fact of the matter is, look, I would say, yeah. So how do you feel about what I've said so far, by the way?
I believed in the.
I would have
anywhere.
to read again.
Yeah? I'm going to give you a free translation of the Quran.
Yeah, I would have to read again.
How do you feel about Sarah? By the way, before you say that, hold that thought. I feel like you're coming from a place of skepticism, which is unnecessary. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
And I truly can't understand it. You didn't see nothing wrong with Islam. You was in Islam. You didn't disagree with it. Whatever you want to verify, you was able to verify. You agreed with it. You agree it's more logical and rational to believe in a creator than not to believe in a creator. And still, you're like that level of cynicism. Like I don't get it.
It'd be more than just the one thing. I said I'm incredibly
Pardon?
impulsive as well. So
Pardon?
I'm incredibly impulsive. So,
You don't sound it, mate.
Huh?
You don't sound it, mate.
I know, but I am. I'm incredibly impulsive. So it's also.
Which is good, because I'll be honest with you, the American lady I spoke to yesterday, right, who became Muslim, she just procrastinated for like 3 years. She's telling me she lives near a mosque. She wants to go to the mosque. She would open the window, listen to the azan, because it gives her peace.
Okay, yeah.
And I thought to myself, if you get peace from listening to the azan, how much more peace are you going to get from doing the actual prayer? Because the azan is the call to prayer. You're enjoying the call to prayer. Go to prayer and then tell me what that does to your soul. Do you know what I mean? So, like, you have to find that balance. Like, and I'm like, she agreed with everything. She didn't disagree. I'm like, then what's stopping you from becoming a Muslim? And then I had a 40-minute conversation with her. She didn't hesitate. She just delayed. She's like, inshallah. She's telling me, inshallah, I'll become Muslim. Yeah? And by the end, when she became Muslim, she thanked me. I go, do you have any regrets? She go, no, I'm glad. Does that make sense? So, Sarah, what do you say?
I can't remember what the question was now.
Yeah, my apologies. I was saying, how do you feel about the conversation? How do you feel about Islam? How do you feel about what I've said thus far?
Yeah, I've always been a believer anywhere.
Yeah.
it's just the ways of life what can get you to not follow certain religions. Yeah.
Say that again, sorry?
It's just like the way of life, like some people like maybe environment and other stuff that can lead you away from following a certain religion.
I'm going to get you to repeat that one more time because that guy's really being loud there.
He is.
Yeah. So my apologies. No, it's fine. It's fine. I want to hear what you're saying. I want to hear what you're saying.
It's our environment.
Yeah, the
It
environment.
doesn't allow you. You know how a lot of the time you would normally separate yourself from everything in order to focus on, say, religion or anything that you are doing. We're consistently surrounded by a certain type of way of life, as you can see. So it is so much easier to conform than it is to go your separate way. Even though you can, Islam is a huge community. You're not by yourself. But
It's not even about being by yourself.
It's this.
Yeah. I think for me,
But then
like,
I don't think you're replying to my question. Because my question is, how do you feel about what I've said? Because you haven't disagreed with what I've
No,
said.
I agree with everything. Like that was always
Then-
what we knew growing up.
Then the objection you've mentioned is that look, due to habit, the society, the community, there's a bit more difficulty in regards to practicing it. But we haven't even got to practicing it. Does that make sense? Because in the 5 pillars, I told you the third, the second is practicing it, the first is belief. So once you affirm what you believe, then you can start practicing. Because I was, as a young Muslim, like struggled with practicing Islam. Yeah? That's because a lack of knowledge, a lack of giving the importance of it. And now, I got to a stage where, like not even now, many years, I can't even remember a time when I didn't used to pray. It's foreign to me. Does that make sense? Like Islam's benefited me by gave me into a better routine, gave me more focus, and benefit. Like because there's nothing in Islam which is forbidden, which is good for you. Yeah. There's nothing forbidden which is good for you, and there's nothing which Allah promotes or tells you to do which is bad for you. So I'm saying, what's stopping you from leaving this conversation, not yourself, and what's stopping you from leaving this conversation in submitting your will to God, being a Muslim?
Okay, more of a touchy subject.
Go for it.
I'm Caribbean, so I come from a highly matriarchal society.
Okay.
So does that make sense when I say matriarchal?
Yeah, I get you.
So it's like a lot of, how do I say it? A lot of views and a lot of practices regarding like women and females don't fit into what I've grown up with. Does that make sense? So regarding the right attire that's meant to be worn, the attitude towards life, and I wouldn't say job role, I wouldn't say so much that, but it completely bounces head with what I've grown up with and what I deem as right, if that makes sense.
I'm confused. So Jamaica,
Grenadian, so it's close to Jamaica.
my apologies, Grenada has a lot of practice which you disagree with currently on a day-to-day basis. No. Very simply put. Because I don't get how this is connected to Islam.
What I mean is, well, no, I'm talking about my differences with Islam. Say, for instance, my mum is, in our family, or our nan, is the most person and the word.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So what she says goes.
Yeah.
In that kind of sense, it's always been kind of.
But that being said, where's
choices between women? So as far as I'm concerned, what my mom said, when how she dressed, how she acted was up to her. There was no restrictions. There's no restrictions in any sense.
So what are you trying to drive that in Islam there's restrictions?
I would say so regarding choice, because obviously it's
What choice is? Because the fact of the matter is, when it comes, give me one specific thing. You mentioned dress
I
code.
wouldn't say choice.
Are you talking more like obviously when you wear a headscarf
It's
out of the house?
not just that. Everyone dresses different regardless. It doesn't necessarily have to be down to.
But you got to be more specific, my bro.
What I mean is.
I know we're going to be out of time as well.
What I mean is. Not so much being forced, but it being the basis of religion.
Specifically, because the fact of the matter is, the must-wear element of it is, it's a journey. So it's, do you want to follow the commandments of God?
Yeah.
Submit your will to God. Now, if you don't dress like that, are you a disbeliever? No. If you don't dress like, the fact of the matter is, show me a single picture of Mother Mary in a bathing suit. Yeah? She dressed modestly. She dressed modestly. The most religious women in the church, they dress modestly.
Nuns.
Yeah, nuns. Now, if there was a woman, look your ear, young man, a woman running up and down Stratford wearing nothing but just shorts, what would happen to her? She would get arrested. Public indecency. Now, if a man ran up and down wearing nothing but just shorts, what would happen to him? Nothing. So even the country we're living in stipulates that women have to cover up more. And I'm saying,
Okay.
like that, yeah? Now, I'm saying, God knows best. I'm going to follow what God says. There's 6 criteria for the dress code, for men as well as women. Yeah? 5 of them that are exactly the same. 5 are exactly the same, only 1 is different, which is how much you cover. And I'm saying, before we go into the rules, let's establish, like, should we obey the one who set the rules? Should we worship the one who set the rules? Is the rule setter? And I'm saying, yeah, that's God, not man. Does it make sense? Because that's backed up by the Quran. That's backed up by the Prophet Muhammad. A man who said in his final sermon, no Arab is better than a non-Arab. Sorry. Yeah. No white man is better than a black man. Yeah. He's there abolishing racism. Yeah. He's giving women's rights. Yeah. So the only thing that's the most important in the sight of God, loosely translated to the nearest meaning, is taqwa, God consciousness. Can you imagine? It's not what I wear, it's not what phone I have, what car I drive. It's something that you can't see, no one can see, it's in my heart. Only God knows. And that's what hires your ranks. So I'm saying that, look, your nan, where was her husband / partner?
My nan.
Yeah.
My nan he's passed away now.
But at that point was Iran. Because just generally,
Yeah, but he was kind of, when I was young he was. But he was kind of,
a bit passive, a bit out of the scene.
yeah.
No, but then
And that's
they
both sides of
didn't
my
live. They didn't live in the same house, right?
Oh, they did.
Okay.
They did.
Because even yesterday I had a scenario where someone was telling me about like the roles are proper upside down. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. And my colleague was saying, oh, my father-in-law loved up my mother-in-law, and he done the cooking, like he done the cleaning and all that kind of stuff. And I go like, who was working? Like, the fact of the matter is, the system created by Allah, right, has given specific roles for men and women which play up to their strengths. There's always exceptions to the story, yeah, to the scenario. However, generally speaking, like the laws of Allah works. So my point is, look, the Prophet, peace be upon him, yeah, he took advice from his wife. He had to make a decision when, in the time of Hajj, he had to come out of Ihram, which none of this stuff means anything to you guys. But then he consulted his wife. So it's within the Sunnah, it's advice for us to actually do consultation with our wives. I'm not just going to come up and say like, I'm the man, this is what I say. Yeah? However, Islam does give that authority to men because they have an extra degree of responsibility. Does that make sense? I'll roll up, my money, you're gonna love this. I don't know how you're gonna feel about this, my brother. Sorry, man. Yeah, your money is yours as well as your spouse's.
Yeah, no, that's cool anyway.
Her money belongs to her.
She got more money than me right now.
Her money belongs to her. Now, if she wants to share it with you, that's her choice, but you can't compel her, she can't be forced. Does that make sense? So at the end of the day, there's different, like the way Allah, God Almighty, balances things out. She got a big smile on her face, she's loving it. Where do I sign? I want a piece of this. You know what I mean? So, because I know when you're in a rush, I'm going to wrap up very quickly. From what I've said, are you closer to looking into Islam? Do you want to become Muslim now? Like, where you at, Sarah? And how would you feel about her decision?
Yeah, one, I would have nothing to do with it. I think slightly, at a young age, was kind of brought into that environment anyways, from my parents.
I personally would look into it.
I would like to read again at 34 and not 23.
Yeah.
I'd like to read it now with the mindset I have now.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you a free translation of Quran. Sarah, can I give you a free translation of Quran? Yeah. Young man's got a free translation of Quran. But how do you feel about this conversation?
I have one, but I can't find it.
No, that's fine. I'll give it to you.
It was given from someone from a good friend.
How do you feel, Tata?
Yeah.
Well,
Do you have any questions for me?
No. A lot to take in.
There's a lot.
I've got a lot of Islamic friends anyway.
Yeah. So right, Sarah, any questions for me?
No.
You sure?
I think there's more research to be done as well.
Yeah.
But I was always like, when it comes to any religion, I was always more towards Muslim than any other religion.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
That's why I went in that direction in the first place. My thought at 20 odd, you can't have 20 books of the same scenario. Message James, New Testament, everything's just either the same information or just different people putting different things. So that kind of put me off when I was young.
So yeah, definitely, I would welcome another conversation. I'm going to give you both Qur'ans. 2 Qur'ans, please, take away. You like that, yeah?
He's the boss.
There you go, madam.
Sorry, I've not got
Should I put it in the back?
I'm gonna put them in the bag.
Yeah. So this is English translation.
I got one.
I would say that look.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you guys want a bigger one?
No, I've got a big hardback somewhere.
We got a hardback. I don't think we brought it
Can I
today.
have a bigger one because my
I don't know if we got it today. Habibi, Hamza, do you have a big one today? Do this. Take this with you, and then no. You can go to QuranProject.com, and they'll send it to you free of charge.
What was the
QuranProject.com. Yeah. Or you can come back on another Saturday, and we'll be here. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. I sincerely appreciate your time. Appreciate that. Thank you, my bro. Young man, sound good. Take care, man. See you later.
Alright, go shopping now.
Yeah?
See you later.
Brilliant. Sam, what time?